Hello, I am back with Snappy Chats. I can't believe it. I've been doing these chats for about a year and a half now, every single week. So I'm so proud of myself for staying consistent. So, except for Christmas time, but that's okay. That's time off. Anyway, I'm super excited. I'm Christine Bell, in case you don't know. I love doing Snappy Chats. These are all around learning and growing together in business because guess what? When we are now in business, it can get really challenging sometimes and we can feel really, really lonely. At least I've felt it. And this is why I started these conversations with having conversations with other amazing business owners who can teach us and could tell us about their challenges and what we can learn from them. And with this in mind, I have a beautiful, beautiful guest. I can learn so much from her. Her name is Lisa Marree. She's also in Australia, as I am. She's in the Queensland, a little bit warmer there, not much apparently at the moment. I'm in cold Sydney at the moment. And I'm going to bring her on now and we're going to find out more about her and what she does because she does some amazing stuff in terms of how we can get our mindset right, how we can get our heart right, and how we can align to what we're really about and bring in what we want. So with this in mind, let me bring on the beautiful Lisa. Here we go. Was that a good way to present you? Or
Thank
present?
you so much. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. And
Perfect.
I just want to celebrate you for being consistent for about a year and a half with
All
the
right.
Christmas break, but that's allowed. And that's one of the key things in business when you're building a business and when you're in it. So yeah, just bravo to you.
Thank you. It's so true. Consistency, yeah, because I see a lot of people, even some people I work with or people I network with, and they're like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? I'm like, well, you spent like 3 weeks on it and now you're changing what you're about again. And some of them, I'm not going to call out names and I'm not saying they're not doing it with the right heart and it isn't the right direction for them. But when you see people, I don't know if you've seen it, when you see people and they've changed what they're about and what they offer like
Yeah.
5 times in 1 year, you go,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
maybe you should stay a little bit longer with it, yeah?
Yes, yes, that I think just because there's so much noise and so many distractions that one of the biggest things, Christine, and first of all, thank you for inviting me on.
I'm so glad to have you, and we are going to introduce you as well. And we're just going to say Jackie Holberg is here. I love Jackie Holberg, and can I just give a shout out to her? I'm teaching at the university right now, and we're doing innovation. And one of my teams of young students want to help re-entry of people who've been in jail in Australia and
Wow.
bring them, and how they can create something innovative. And Jackie,
Yeah,
bless her heart, spent so much time with them, talking to them about what they can learn because they knew nothing, yeah? And they're
I
presenting
love
today their
Jackie.
final pitch presentation to me today. Jason is here as well, and we got Brett Packard. You know Brett as well. I
Yay,
love
yes,
Brett.
I
He's
do.
amazing.
Hello.
Anyway, back to you, Lisa. We were talking about something, and I know we're also going to introduce you.
Yeah, people swapping what they're
Jobs.
doing, and there's a little bit of feedback when I'm talking, Christine, so I'm not sure if you just want to possibly mute while I am talking. Um, so the distractions of our digital world, because where we get an idea and then we try and find a coach who's going to help us with that idea. And then, of course, we might see something that looks a little bit better and a bit more shiny. And we think, oh, that's sort of in my area. I like that idea better. So you swap again. And because there's the self-doubt monster having a really big conversation with you. It's over your shoulder. Every decision you make, you go with it for a short time, and then you see something that could be better. And whatever you're doing never gets to have to actually grow any roots. Wow, that was profound.
And I love that. I love that so much. So we'll talk more about that or maybe something else. But first of all, I'll let you introduce yourself and what you do because you do amazing stuff.
Thank you so much. Well, my name's Lisa Marree, and my surname is Marree, just to clear that. A lot of people think it's a hyphenated first name. Nope. Lisa. Lisa is fine. I should have been like Prince or Madonna or, just had symbol or something. So I help people become limitless. And what that means is that I'm talking to the high achievers, the action takers, the people who have done so much work. They've really, they see that they've got this vision and they're working so hard towards that. However, they keep hitting an internal ceiling. They achieve success, but then they come back to a set point. And so I have a unique gift where just because of my vast life experience of tragedy and trauma, and working through that, to be able to pinpoint the root causes of where people are getting blocked. And most of it actually comes from some kind of childhood thing, and people don't even know that. So I help people release that and then literally step into what I call becoming a super conscious creator, to actually step into that higher version of themselves where their actions are starting to meet the vision that they have in the future.
I love that. And isn't that so important? It's all about alignment and getting really clear is what I'm hearing about who we are, what we're great at, what we love doing, and then making sure we act on that rather than act on fear.
Yes.
Which often we do, even when we don't think we do. I actually have a good example. I've been in personal development as a journey for 9 years now too. And it's interesting, I still catch myself sometimes making a decision that is based in fear, and I kind of know it. And you guys on your show yesterday talked exactly about that in terms of when are we ready to step out and stand on our own 2 feet without thinking we need other people to hold on to per se, because that's holding on rather than actually working just as collaboration from a high space, isn't it? I just want to say, by the way, Dale Young is here. He's amazing. Jason, I was just at his show. That was amazing too. Tommy's here as well. Yeah, so back to you. What are your thoughts on the whole thing in terms of building a business and the challenges you've been through as well in terms of getting there?
Yes. Well, snapshot of before 2020. I had my background is military, medical science, and then into holistic health. By the age of 33, I was bedridden with systemic autoimmune complications. I'd been chopped up by surgery 18 times. And I believe that a lot of that was actually through my childhood trauma and abuse, because stress creates disease in the body. We don't often connect that, but it is. And then my second abusive marriage, I thought I'd, just try out a second one that was like the first one. Well, by this stage, I'd actually worked really hard in my medical science career, and I had a couple of investment properties, and very naively, because I was young, I didn't understand due diligence. The banks were throwing money at people to get a small business. My second husband at the time decided to buy a small business, and I went guarantor for him with my properties. And within 18 months, the business went broke. We broke up. He walked away debt free, and I walked away with a $500,000 debt. That situation, when I was very, very sick as well, left me basically $500K in the hole, and I was homeless. All I had was a suitcase. And so where to go next? Well, because life had actually built a lot of resilience within me, I decided that I would find my own health challenge, pursue my own health solutions. And I became involved with some nutrition products that also came with some incredible mentoring. And I had always had a holistic interest. And so I went from I went from 500K in the hole to basically over the 20 years, I'd built a very strong team, and our business had actually turned over $10 million in revenue within that 20 years. And then 2020 happened. And so literally, because I was a brick and mortar style business, and there were no humans walking the planet, business literally shut down overnight, but I was still having all the outgoings, and I held on by nails for about a year, bleeding money, until I just thought I need to stop this. I had this huge calling in my heart for such a long time to really move into the field that I'm incredibly passionate about, which is helping people connect with their higher self. I'm going to go there.
I'm okay with that because I'm on the
Remove
same journey, and if you're not on this journey, keep listening because we're not crazy. There's something more to life than
yeah.
just your human body.
Yeah. I'm going to use the word manifest because this is what manifest basically means is an idea coming to fruition, but it's been really made yucky through what's happening in the marketing world to be this woo thing. But literally, I have been able to manifest an incredible life. One of my biggest goals was to live in a waterfront place, and I achieved that in 2020. I moved in. And the exact same picture on my vision board. Yes, I had vision boards. So what I started to do was, we were made to stand still. And I had also learned to go within, to be quiet, to listen to the inner voice most of my life. And so I decided, right, I'm going to build an online business following the calling that I've had in my heart forever. But because it's such a niche space, trying to find the marketing lessons, and I had not built an online business before, so I was non-techie. Where I sat basically at the beginning of this year, after 2 years of trying to find my way, I have spent over $100,000 on marketing courses and tech courses with
I have
zero.
to stop you right there and just say I am so sick and tired of coaches who have never done any work in marketing, and then they sell 20,000 plus courses trying to sell you a one size fit all marketing solution, which is do not exist. Do not ever think it exists. We are all unique. Everyone is unique. You cannot use the same formula for everyone. Anyway, I just had to get it off my chest because if there's one thing that upsets me coming from 25 years in strategy in the marketing area, this really, really upsets me.
Oh, it was devastating. And because I'm a student of life, whatever I is presented in front of me, and if there's learning, I will do it. I will do it to the T. I apply myself. I'm disciplined. That's how I became successful in the first place. You do not build a business like that and through just winging it. But what I really love about you, Christine, is the fact that you have a holistic approach to business. You have a holistic approach to the strategy involved in how you get the client seeing what you're offering from a what's in it for me perspective. And your experience is very intuitive. You know how when someone's trying to, when a person who's trying to build their business says, these are all my ideas, you can actually put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together in some kind of sensible formula.
Yeah, and that's unique, and you're absolutely right. That's how I describe what I do. It's about putting a puzzle together. Let's take it all apart and let's put your unique puzzle together that works for you and your business. And that's what
Yes,
it's all about because if it doesn't work for you, you ain't going to use it anyway. So it
yes,
has to align and it has to make sense to the person using it, yeah? Otherwise
yeah.
it's not going to be authentic, and guess what? You know this, authenticity is key. Now, what I love about you is as you're talking about all your challenges in life, you keep saying, I have such an amazing life. I have built such an incredible life. And it just rolled off like it wasn't something I think you were thinking about saying. But what I'm hearing through you, which is really important, is this absolutely from where you've been, this gratitude for where you are.
That's such a huge thing, because when you're face down in the mud, and I've been there more times than I really want to even remember, is that it's okay to want more. But the most important thing is to actually be so grateful for what you have. We, if you're watching this on the internet right now, you're in the 1% of the world who actually have electricity, who have water, who have sewage, who have the ability to watch somebody on the other side of the world trying to help others rise up. So from that perspective, because my North Star was so strong of where my vision is, of from a little girl, I wanted to be remembered somehow to be a world changer. Now, how did that divine energy come within me? Well, it was probably time, because I probably had so many crap past lives. Who knows? Um, but getting back to the $100,000, like when you've been so successful and you fall so fast, I had to do some really deep reflection as well. But because this is about the marketing mistakes, I recently wrote a blog that was the three biggest mistakes that I made listening to the marketing gurus that did cost me $100,000. And guess what? I'm still in the driver's seat. I'm still there. I'm still trying, because I believe that I'm going to actually, like, my GPS is off right now, but I'm getting closer and closer, and I feel I'm in love with where I'm at. And so that's one
And
of the
can I
most
just say
important
something
things.
that
Yeah.
when you look at, and I'm teaching innovation at the university right now, when you look at the process, innovation is actually like personal development journey, yeah? You gotta keep trying, you gotta keep experimenting, you gotta keep learning, listening, iterate, and keep working until you get there. You do not give up. You keep going because you have something bigger that's driving you to change the world and change your own world. And that is the key to it. So for me, it's kind of interesting. We're teaching innovation, but what we're really teaching is self-awareness and the journey of personal development in terms of all those things, because it comes through in innovation too. So, and what you're saying is so important. You got to stick with it, and you got to be willing to learn and grow with it. And before I let you talk again, I just want to say Chris Berryman is saying, should it be focused be on impact rather than money? If you ask me personally, the focus should be on connection. The focus is all about connecting with people that you want to work with, that you would like to help. And if we can create a real connection, then they actually remember us. And when they remember us in this busy life where we have no time for anything and we're overwhelmed, that's when we start actually having some impact, where they go, oh, this might be for me. This is actually something that I could potentially use, or I can tell other people about it. Anyway, back to you. I just want to say I love the fact that you talk about keep going with it.
Yes. Yes. And that connection point is so important, because you can't make money without people. So I always, because I was always fascinated by science and the earth and Mother Nature and all of these things as a little girl. And I grew up watching Professor Julius Sumner Miller on black and white TV. That's how old I am, guys. I'm in my mid-50s. Um, and he always would say, why is this so? And so I've always, it's always like, why is this happening? Why is this so? What's the solution? Being solution oriented rather than problem based. And when you think about the light bulb, I think it was Thomas Edison, please correct me if I'm wrong, 10,000 experiments. He said he didn't fail 10,000 times. He found 10,000 ways that didn't work. So he kept going until it worked. And really, that is the way. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to build a sustainable business, you have to just keep tweaking and fine tuning, not changing what you're doing unless it's really providing crickets endlessly. I know you want to say something.
Well, it's just you just said this thing around Edison, and you know what? I actually had someone tell me another similar quote the other day. I'm like, yes, this has just come to me the other day. And this person was saying, when you look at a child that's learning to walk, do you consider them a failure when they fall down, or do you consider them one step closer to walking?
Yeah. And that's where the childlike curiosity has always stayed within me. You try and tell a kid not to learn to walk. That, they're just going to say, get out of my way. I'm going to walk no matter what. And that's actually the way I embrace life. I'm just going to do this no matter what. It's the ant theory, Jim Rohn's ant theory. It was so beautiful. And, he just gave this visual of when ants, their sole purpose is to feed the queen and keep the queen safe. So they're out on their little daily mission to get food and whatever. And if there's an obstacle in the way, and as a kid, didn't we all put a stick in the line of this ant line or try and do something to build a barrier, and just watch them? And that was a great lesson, is because if there's something in their way, they'll go around it. If they can't go around it, they'll try over it. If they can't go over it, they'll go under it. If they can't go under it, they will burrow through. So if you live with the ant theory, you're going to actually continually be looking for solutions. And when your focus is on forward thinking, solution, growth mindset, epiphanies, synchronicities, the right people, the right events, money starts coming into your life. And so this is energy. This is all about our internal energy, and we're trying to get external stuff to fix our internal stuff, but it's all back to front. So I'm really getting carried away here. I've got 3 really important points because I don't want to run out of time. And you mentioned it right at the beginning about authenticity, Christine. So the first point in my blog of my 3 mistakes that cost me $100,000 was abandoning my true core message. I knew what I wanted, yet these marketing coaches languaged it in something that was, like pass the message around the circle. By the time it gets back to the first person, it's nothing like it. The second one was niching down into the wrong audience. And I was guided to niche into an audience that really didn't sit well with my heart, because I always go by, how is this feeling within me? Is it a heck yeah, or there's a little bit of a rumble in there? That rumble is your inner guidance system. It's saying, keep looking for a solution because this isn't quite it yet. And the third one was, after I had been stuck in this hole that they put me in, by my own hand, by the way. I was going along because I'm a very good student and I'd paid money to create offers outside of my genius zone. Like, what the heck? So much energy going into things that I'm not even that good at.
I have a lot to say right now, but I'll keep it short because you've hit a number of things that really gets me fired up. And I will start with the one that is probably the most controversial, and people probably disagree with me, which is the niching part. So, is it right to niche or not? Well, I have seen a lot of business owners who niche so much that there is next to impossible to find a client, yeah, or a customer. So when we start out in business and we're not 100% sure and we're still testing out stuff, we kind of want to leave it open. We want to have an idea of who we love to work with, who we want to bring in. But to directly go out and say, I'm only working with you over here, you're actually maybe missing out on some people you didn't even know you could help, that you hadn't thought about, yeah? So for me, niching is a very fine balance line, yeah. So, and I especially say when you're starting out, be open-minded, have a good idea of who you love to work with, but be open-minded. And then as you find your groove, as you build your business, see where you land that fits with your heart, that fits with what you're about, what you align with, and that comes back to the messaging, like you said, and also the whole thing of creating offer that doesn't align with us. It's got to be so simple that everyone gets it and it doesn't get lost, yeah? And it's got to just sit right, because we cannot sell something to others we don't 100% buy into. Maybe big
If we
companies
don't
can
buy
do
into
it.
it, how can others buy into it?
Exactly. Maybe big products, you see the big companies, but they've been around for a long time. They've spent years building brands. To think that as a small business you can just go out and build a big brand like this ain't gonna happen. It takes a long time, and you need a lot of money behind it, and it takes a long time to build the message in the market, and it takes a long time for people to recall it and actually go, oh yeah, that was Lisa who said it. Yeah, they might picked up what you said, but then they go, oh, I think it was Christine who said that. No, 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 it needs to be Lisa. Yeah. So that's really exciting. I just want to touch on something before we leave as well, because this is such a great conversation. Chris Berryman, he talks about money being another form of energy. So do you want to answer that one? I don't know if you saw the question. All money is another form of energy and tool that we use to get things we need and want in business and in life itself. Do you both agree? I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, well, it's a transfer of energy indeed. It's a good or a service in exchange of something else. And when both parties in agreement, it's a beautiful energy. And this year when I stepped into what I actually really love and wanted to do, and I started to get my messaging correct, I had success in in enrollment in a course, and when that one particular person had finished, they said, "What's next?" It's just like, well, let me get onto that. So, but
And can I just say, when people ask you what's next, you say, "What would you like?"
I sort of did.
And work out whether it fits with what you want.
I sort of did, and it worked out beautifully. But when people, this is my belief. Most people don't escape the humanness of having money blocks. Somewhere deep inside of us, we have money scarcity, and we don't understand that, and we don't think we do. However, if we keep focusing on the money, this is a resistance coming up, because the money will come when the energy is flowing. And right now, if the money's not coming, it's because the energy isn't flowing. It's because there's blocks there. And so the whole exchange concept is definitely energy. But when the energy is misaligned, that's where we start to get even more anxiety over it. Is, I'm doing all these things, yet the money's not coming. And so that's really one of the major things that I work on with people, because when you flip that abundance switch, um, life is grand in so many ways.
I might have to have a chat with you, because I also went through the 2020. Oh my God, what happened, and where did my business go? And let's start over, and let's spend all my saving, and let's get poor, and start over for real, for nothing. Yeah. A few of us in Australia have gone through that in the last few years.
Yeah.
With the way things worked out down under.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, what's interesting this year is I've noticed myself with the blocks, in terms of I was getting business in, but then I was getting bills in at the same time. And there was bills that I'm like, where did these come from? Yeah. So there was still a block. And then it was like, okay, at one point I just went, I just got to have a break from this fear of money. I just got to break it out. I just got to sit through it. And then at some point I just went, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get some money in, but I didn't just want a job, yeah, like a side job. But then I found this job for the university, and it was just on LinkedIn one day, and I thought, well, I'll just give it a go, yeah, just see, because that kind of calls to me. The teaching was calling to me. It was
Yeah.
calling to me big time. So I applied, and it's the most easy application I ever had in my life. I literally put an application in. They called me the week after and said, would you like the job? I said, yeah. I said, do you want anything else? Then I, no, you fit the bill. You're in. I'm like, is this it? They go, yeah, this is it. I'm like, is it that easy? They go, yeah. And it was literally that easy. And I make money there, don't get me wrong. It's not great money, it's a university. But it's funny, the joy of it is overriding everything. I literally have spent more time than I probably should, but I am so enjoying it. And it's giving me this breather away from fearing about money, to just go, I'm doing something I just love, and I know there's something in it. I don't know what it is, but there's something
Yes.
coming out of it that's helpful to me.
Yes. And I was going to say, whatever's happening right now is actually preparing you for what's coming. And that's so exciting. Oh, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, it's weird. So sometimes you gotta kind of, I think what you're saying as well is, if we get so focused, correct me if I'm wrong, we get so focused on this is what I need to bring in, it can only be brought in this way. But if we step away from this must bring money in and go, this is what I love, and here's an opportunity doing something that I think I'm going to be great at, I think I'm going to love, I'm going to try it out and see what happens, yeah? Energetically, internally, there was a switch.
Yes, yes. And there are many pathways to the destination. People need to have that in mind. It shows up in many, many different forms.
So with that in mind, because we're running out of time, I loved everything you said. I could carry on talking for a long time. Let's finish up with you telling us a little bit more about what you do, how people can get in touch with you, what events you got coming, how they can work with you, etc.
Yes, well, I do have a 4-week program that is self-paced, but I have a mentorship component in there that is available. I also do a 90-minute intensive with people that we can, literally do a deep dive into their situation, and then I can provide some solutions on within that 90 minutes. I'm also building an app. I'm so excited. So watch this space. Yes, so they're the things in the pipeline. So if you visit lisamarree.com, you'll see, and go to my work with me, you will actually see what is currently available. But also there is an opportunity for a 15-minute chat for free, if you really want to just see if there is room for us to be working together.
I love that. And we got your lisamarree.com, and we also got your LinkedIn so people can reach out to you, whether they're on here live right now or listening in for the replay. Definitely, I recommend you reach out to Lisa because I like to have more conversations with you too. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm off to university now to do the final class of this term. They're actually presenting their pitch decks today for their
Lovely.
innovation and social impact. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank
You're
you for all
welcome.
the listeners online. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Jason. He's still here. Thank you so much for staying to the end. And Chris is here as well. Thank you. Bye.